Day two of the government shutdown. Um, there doesn't seem to be panic in the street or the end of the world as we know it. Seriously, folks, it is day two, um, and most of us haven't been directly affected by the shutdown. There are some who have. Nearly 800,000 of our fellow Americans are either working and not getting paid, or not working and not getting paid. They're being furloughed over this government shutdown. And what does that mean? I know a lot of you are saying, oh, well, we don't need these government employees. These are folks that are working hard, doing a job. They're just like you and I. Their employer happens to be the federal government. And you may have issues with the agencies and whether they should be existing in the government, but this isn't the way to address that by hurting the average American. Because here's the thing. Some of these folks have already been furloughed for some days because of the sequestration. There was a woman, I think was a secretary for someone in the EPA, who had already had to take 6 days of furlough, costing her about $1,000. Add those days now. It's going to be an effect on them, and that will trickle down to us as far as the economy is concerned. Because the longer this goes on, the less money those folks have, the less they're able to put into the economy. Stock market's not happy about this. But you know what? Let's just talk a couple things about what's happening with this shutdown and Obamacare. Um, you can't miss conversations about Obamacare, the shutdown, how they're connected. If you go online, it's just there. If you're talking to people at the store, the barbershop, the garage, school, wherever, there's some things that need to be cleared up here. One of the fundamental responsibilities of government, this Congress, is to fund the government. It is one of their fundamental jobs, and the House is where this starts. Now, I know that many in the House don't care for Obamacare, want to destroy it, think it's the worst thing that ever happened, it's going to be the end of America. And so they have tried multiple ways to get rid of it. They tried to repeal it once, twice, 42 times. They tried to defund it or to delay it. And I have to say the president gave them a little fodder by delaying certain aspects of it, and that's what they tried to do. But here's the thing. We're here at this shutdown not necessarily because of Obamacare. It is a contributing factor. We're here because the Senate and the House have failed to do their job for years. Senate, I'm looking at you. Did you forget what a budget is? You haven't passed the budget in years. Now, I know, well, it doesn't make a difference if we pass a budget. Those radicals over in the House, they would just shoot it down. Doesn't make any difference. It's your job. You have a job where you're supposed to make a budget for a business and you don't do it because the boss might shoot it down, you're going to get fired. Now, House, don't pat yourself on the back too much, because while you have passed multiple budgets, and they've died in the Senate, most of those have included what I would call poison pills, or things you knew the Senate would not vote on. You knew it wouldn't pass. You passed it because you could then say, we passed the budget. But you knew it wouldn't work. You knew they wouldn't accept it. The president wouldn't sign it. But I got to take you to task about something more recent. Our 14 appropriation bills that are supposed to be passed for the normal funding of the government. How many have you passed so far? 2. It's not Obamacare that's keeping you from passing those appropriations bills. Or rather, it shouldn't be. So a pox on both your houses. We're here to government shutdown largely because both houses of Congress and President Obama, I'm going to toss you in with this too, have not done their job to make sure that the government has a budget. Now, I know there's such a wide divide among the ideas, the ideals, spending cuts, tax increases for the rich, whatever. But you know, you were elected to make this work. Now, I know some of my friends on the right would say, oh no, they weren't elected to make the government work. We need to get rid of some of the government. Fine. But this is not how you do it. And let me just do from the practical point of view. You tried to do 3 or 4 things to mess up Obamacare with the funding. It failed. The Senate wouldn't budge. The president won't budge. Now that we've shut the government down, now that you're really not doing your job, you can continue to try to do that. But you already know it's not going to work. So pass a continuing resolution to fund the government, say till December 31st. And then immediately begin working on spending cuts or entitlement reform or defense spending reform. Or how about all of the above? And all of you, Senate, House, Republican, Democrat, Independent, how about we go into this time with, okay, we're all going to have to give a little bit and make it work. I know that's a pie-in-the-sky optimist, but that's what should be going on right now. Pass this resolution, continuing resolution, and get the job done. That's your job. Now, there's a lot of things that you're hearing about the shutdown, and one of the things that frustrated me the most that I heard in recent days, vets from World War II. And the numbers are dwindling, these greatest generation heroes. A group of them came to Washington to look at the World War II memorial. And because the government shut down and all national parks are closed, that was one that was closed. Now, you're thinking it's an open air thing. That's right. But they closed down the monuments on all of them. Well, these vets were not to be deterred. They may not be able to get back there anytime in their lifetime. They want to look at this, and it's a fabulous memorial. I've seen it. It's great. It's moving. I think it's done wonderfully. So these vets moved the barriers and did anyway. And they did, someone said civil disobedience, and they did it right. And they did. They were polite, but they did break the law. You know what? I'm fine. I hate making exceptions, even for the greatest generation, but I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is some of the very men and women who are part of the problem that caused that memorial to be blocked off were down there saying, we're here for the vets. They moved barriers. They distracted park guards. We're supporting our vets. Baloney. You were doing photo ops. And if you really want to help the vets, go past the continuing resolution and then work on an actual budget. It's the height of indecency and the height of hypocrisy to go out there and say, we're here for you, when you're not doing your own job. Sorry, that just kills me. And that's one thing on Obamacare. It's here. It's the law of the land. You did try to repeal it. Cool. Defunding it, I'm sorry, is wrong. You're creating an unfunded federal mandate, which most of my conservative friends rail against every day. This is another one. You don't want to do that. Delay it, deny it. How about you guys try a different tack? How about you try to reform it? I know it's unconstitutional. It's the death of America. Look at all these predictions. It's here, folks. It's going to be here. Make it work, please. All right, folks, this has been Eric from Another Voice with Eric and Friends, where our podcast you can find usually Monday nights each week, where we talk about politics, community. It's at canIGetAWordIn.com, or you can go to Facebook at Another Voice with Eric and Friends, find us there. On Twitter, if you're watching us here on Twitter, it's Be Another Voice, or on YouTube, sorry. Both of them are Be Another Voice. We'd love to hear from you if you're watching this video and you've got things to say. Do you think I'm crazy about this? You've got, arguments for or against. Put some in the comments down below. And if you're in the Greenville-Spartanburg area, I encourage you to contact McLean Carpet Systems to get the best carpet cleaning in the area. And to carpets, area rugs, upholstery, they do it all. 864-801-9644 or carpetcleaninggreer.com. All right, until next time, get out in your community and make a difference.